Jennifer Lewis. I'm from the University of Southern Mississippi, and you can see my designations there, including my CEOE that I just recently got. Today I'm here to present on optimizing Outlook, easy ways to get more out of Outlook. We spend a lot of our time in the Outlook box, so any little bit that we can do to make our life easier might make for a shorter workday, if not a little bit of increased productivity and definitely a little bit less frustration. So let's get started. Here's my inbox. You can see right here I've got 68 messages and more coming in as we speak. So the first thing that I'd like to do is talk about automatically filing an email. So I get a lot of these emails from Bob Wilson. Good old Bob, he always has work for me to do. So one of the things that I do is do Control, Shift, and E, and that makes me a little folder. So I'm going to call this Bob Things to Do. And so when Bob asks me to do things, I'll just put them in that little folder. You see it's appeared right here. But you see that this hasn't moved because there's two steps to this. You're going to have to create a rule, and you can either click on Create Rule or Always Move Messages from Bob. And you should be seeing it's going to ask you where. So then right here I'm going to do Bob Things to Do. Or alternately, I can just go to Rules again and create a rule. Click From Bob and move item 2, and I'm going to select the folder and Bob Things to Do. And I'm going to say OK. And it's going to say the rule has been created. Do you want to run it now? Okay, if it works, this email will go into that box. So let's see. Let's let it do its magic. Okay. So here's the email from Bob with something to do. So I'll put it right there, and then it's out of my box, and I know that I need to check all that. Okay. The other thing that I like to do is to create some contacts for folks. So Cindy here has sent me some other things to do, but she also has sent her information, and I believe her office information's down there. Well, I would like to make a contact. To do that, what I'm going to do is drag her email down to contacts, and Outlook's automatically going to enter her full name, last name, first name, her email address, and it's going to enter that whole email, that last email. But rather than do all that, which I don't necessarily need, I'm going to delete that and just keep what I want from here. I can use this information to populate my business address. Here's the number, and I can just copy that, put it in there. I'll leave her PhD information, all that there, and delete that. And there you go. So now when I go into my contacts, and I go Blackwell, there's Cindy. And I have all the information I need to get a hold of her, a little bit of information about her and who she is. So I like that as a way to quickly get people into your contacts so you don't have to be searching for their emails over and over again. Okay, there's also another thing I could do. You see, Cindy has sent me some things to do. People like to send stuff, don't they? Well, I'm going to drag it down here to my tasks. And now here you go. I see what she's trying to tell me that she wants me to do. It's made a task for me. I can put today as the start date. I can put later on today as the done time, so I need to get it done. I want a reminder. I'm going to put the reminder tonight. Let's see. And I work a lot of hours, so I'm going to put the reminder at 9 p.m. And it is going to make a little sound. In fact, honestly, you could put other music in here. You could download some music if you've got some CD or something. It's going to be looking for a WAV file, though, so you probably want to convert your sound to some kind of WAV file. And there's free software on the internet to do that. But then you would have that ability to play a better song than that because it's not that great. Here you can track also the completion. So tonight I might come in here and update it. I've got 50% of this done. So I put these test questions into Canvas and I put like half of them in. But I still need to do that later. You can also, if ideally you have someone that helps you, can assign the task to someone else. Just email it. So I could email it to my boss or my student worker and say, hey, you do it. You can also categorize things if you want to track what you're doing. I don't know if anybody's used this before, but you can create some categories, color coordinate them, and put like assignments to Joy. And then I would just go ahead and email to Joy, and then she would be tracked on here. You can also make things private if there are personal issues that you have that you want to take care of. You can put them on there as well. Okay, so that's how to make a task really quickly. Now, the other thing that I would like to recommend heartily is if you don't have two monitors, or even if you do, scheduling can be quite a pickle because people will often not respond to, let's say, a Doodle Poll or a meeting request. Instead, they'll send you back, not a proposed time, but an email that actually says, hey, I can't go at this time. I might could go at one of these other times, which makes it difficult because then you have to look at the email and look at your calendar. So what way to solve this? Open in a new window your calendar. So you see I right-clicked the calendar, open in a new window. So when I open a new window, it does it smaller. So even if I only have one screen, I could see the email where the person's telling me, let's say it was Cindy, and she is telling me that she cannot meet until tomorrow at noon. Well, I've already got a meeting with all these folks. And so I can see their calendars, but let's say I can't see hers. So she said that she could meet tomorrow afternoon. Well, okay, these guys can all meet between 2 and 2:30. So then I could go ahead and just send the email with that update without having to go back and forth. Especially if you have a lot of folks here that are trying to give you information that are not in your internal directory of calendars, and they're all trying to advise you of that. That's why, honestly, I use the Doodle Poll. I don't know if anybody has seen that, but it's a really great and free resource. It's doodle.com. I'll just show it to you really quickly. And in here, you'll just put in the dates. And it's a free account. You can sign up. You can just create a doodle. It doesn't even really require you to sign up. I don't think. Yeah, see, it's just letting you create it. You can just say meeting. You can add a location. You can add a note. Or you can skip that and just pick times. And you just pick times that you want these meetings possibly to be. And then you send those times to all the people. And then there you go. You'll have that setting there. If you want to know more about that, just email me offline, jennifer.lewis@usm.edu. But just so you can see what you could do. The next thing that we're going to cover is actually going to be using your favorites. You see that I have a lot of things going on in this box. Only the first 4, 5, 6, 7 folders are folders that were automatically created with the program. These are folders that I've placed up there that are important to me. So to do that, what I do is just find the folders. Let's say this Bob Things to Do, and I'm going to show it in favorites. Now you're wondering, where did it go? Well, Outlook has a hierarchy of organization, so it puts the folders at the bottom after the groups, and these are all groups that I belong to in Office 365. So simply put, you just click it and you drag it up and place it where you want to place it. So I'm going to put it after all items, and so there's Bob's Things to Do. So there's something I need to get taken care of. Okay. You can also remove it. So let's say that Bob leaves the organization. I no longer need this folder. So I could simply remove from favorites. I still have the folder in my archives and all my folders, but I no longer need it because I'm not going to get anything more from him. Now, who remembers the shortcut keys? I used to use those a lot with WordPerfect and with the Office 95. That dates me a lot, but yeah, I really enjoyed using all my shortcuts, and I still do to a large extent, using a Control V and Control X to copy and paste and cut. All those allow you to not sit there and hunt and peck for things because you simply just use the keyboard shortcuts. So I'm going to give you a couple of keyboard shortcuts. And first I'm going to show you what they are. So you see here, Control+R to reply to an email. So let's say I've got this email from Holly. I'm just going to hit Control key and hold down that key and then hit the R key. Here, it's going to let me respond to Holly. I didn't have to click anything. So the next one is, Control Shift plus M to create a new email. The Control key, hold it down, Shift key, hold it down, and the M key. And there's a message, M for message. Then we have these Control plus 1, 2, 3, and 4. Instead of going around here and clicking all these things to change it, basically this is what it's going to let you do. So keep in mind, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4. Okay, so I'm on 4. So Control plus 1 will take me back to 1, which is the email. Control plus 2 will take me back to the calendar. Control plus 3 will take me to the contacts. And Control plus 4 will take me to the tasks. So I thought that's pretty neat because you could probably remember that since this is the order these guys are in anyway. So I thought that was pretty helpful. Creating calendar entries from emails. Oops. So the other thing that's helpful is that you can actually make a calendar entry in your email. So let's go back to Control 1, which is our email. And let's pull an email from Keith Hill. So Keith wants us to do something. So we're going to figure out that we're going to do it by dragging it to our calendar. And here it goes. It's going to give us the actual email of what he wants. And it actually lets you put a location, and it automatically put in like right now or 30 minutes from now. So then you would just change it to whatever time you want it to be, or an all-day event. You can also invite people, and you can create reoccurrence. And again, you could categorize it into some category. But that is a pretty easy way to go ahead and make an email into an actual calendar entry of something you need to do for a meeting or such. There's also another little option. If you right-click on the email and drag it to the calendar, oops. So you right-click it and then drag it. Oops. You have to kind of play along with it. No. There it is. Okay. So then I right-clicked it and I dragged it while it was right-clicked. This is what it's offering me, these options. Copy appointment with text. Copy here as appointment with shortcut. Copy here with attachment. Or copy move here as an appointment with attachment. So I would probably use in the copies because I would still want to keep the email in my email box. But you can also, I like copy here as meeting request. So right here, I'm going to ask everybody in here to meet about this because they're asking me questions. I'm asking them questions and I'm not getting any answers. So this would be a good way to just resolve it all with a meeting. And again, right click it and then drag it into your calendar. And then you could appointment with text. And it gives you all the information about it. And then you set that appointment. So these are some good tips. If there are any late night folks like myself, the following tip will be very useful, except for I'm going to give you a caveat at the end. So I like to send emails at all hours of the night because I'll think of something and I want to send it. But I don't want to send it and wake you up so that I get an ugly email about it. So what I do is I go to my options and go delay delivery. So then I'm able to go in here and say do not deliver before tomorrow at 2:30. Also, you can do this. This is kind of a little sneaky trick, but you put it today at 5. That way, the response that you get doesn't infringe upon your schedule for the day because you have controlled it so that they are not getting the response from you that's asking them a question until after 5. So it's kind of managing your time. The only thing I'm going to give you a caveat about is if you leave before 5, okay? Let's say today my boss says, Jennifer, you can leave and go to the post office for me at 4:50, and I've scheduled this email at 5. This thing will get hung up potentially in the outbox. So like right now, here's one I put, but this is not hung up. This is actually going to go out today at 5 because it's not an emergency as to what type of windows people have in this email. I'm just giving them some information. But if you get one that its time has passed and you need it to go out, you'll just need to go in there, change the delay delivery, or go ahead and just uncheck it and it'll go out. But yeah, that is a good way of going ahead and getting your response out there, but making sure that it doesn't infringe upon what you already need to do for the day by having that response come right back to you and creating more work for you. Sharing the calendar. We talked a little while ago about doodles and meeting and scheduling, but what if somebody just truly needs to see your calendar because they're not going to be scheduling for you. So you're not going to share your calendar in terms of them having unlimited access forever, but you want to let them know what your availability is for the week. So simply put, you could just go in your email and you click insert and you click calendar. And it's going to give you some choices so you can manage the level of information you're giving them. So let's say that we're looking for something for the next 7 days. And it's only going to give them free, busy, and tentative, working elsewhere or out of office. It's not going to tell them what I'm doing. It's just going to tell them if I have any availability. And I could even limit it to only working hours. So I mean, they don't need to know what time at 7 o'clock I'm going to the gym. So you just click on that and see, it actually embeds it in there. You see the dates and everything, and they'll be able to go in there. There's links to each of these. And they're different numbers too. See, the number changes. So each day actually has a hyperlink to it so that information can be separately viewed. And also is shown in text right there. And then you could send it to your boss and say, here, these are the days I could go to the meeting. Who wants to go? So that's a pretty cute trick. The next thing I want to talk about is something that you probably have seen in Word, but you may not realize it's in here. It is the Quick Access Toolbar. So this is all the shortcuts you could ever need, which will save you at least hunting and pecking for things underneath this main menu. Because certain things are in here, certain things are in here, certain things are on this tab. So instead of that, you could simply go hit more commands, and I always change it to all commands, and then I pick whatever I want. So one of the things I almost always do is put in, where is this guy's at? Font size would be one to add. Let's see, another one that's useful. The print one. Print. Okay, and then so it's going to hit OK right there. And there you go, you have some icons. So there's print, and there's the font size, which actually have to be in the email or writing an email, so we'll get control. You can also get another email up by just hitting Control N as well. But then we could change the font and such. But you can add anything you want from there. Like I said, here's some other things: delete, forward, reply all, empty deleted items. So you can use whatever you want and put that in that toolbar. You can also, because it's kind of disconcerting where it's at right now, you can change where it actually shows in that ribbon to the bottom, and it's easier to see. So that's also an option. Now, we know we often have to find things in our actual emails, and it's not necessarily easy to find, especially in Outlook, because often if you put a person's name and it was sent to multiple people, you won't be able to find it just by searching by one person. So that's one of my pet peeves about this. But in the meantime, you can always create a folder. And we're just going to go in here to our folders. And we're going to go new search folder. And maybe let's say we want to create a custom search folder. You're going to click on here for criteria. And let's call it Bob emails. And the criteria and search for words, and put iTech. Policies. I'm trying to make sure that there's something, and there's probably from Bob. I'm going to get all my contacts so I can make sure I get them in here. So I'm just looking for him to add him here. Oops. I think I went by him. There he is. Okay. And so that's my search folder. And say OK. And OK. And then OK again. And then you see it's underneath the search folders, which are way over there in this weird part. And there's all the emails he's ever sent me. Well, that regarding iTech or policies. So you can streamline that. You can change it. You can go back in here and go to properties and see, show total number of items. And there, right there, you see it's 19. You can customize the search folder again. Go back in there and change that criteria. Add the word computer. See if I get any more emails. Nope. So that's on spot. So that helps you kind of just, like you could do it for your boss or their boss and have several folders that just have things that were sent recently. Because you could also do it by time. Sent last 7 days. And then that would get less. See, none of those emails were sent in the last 7 days. So I'm going to go back in to customize, go back to criteria, and I'm going to get rid of this whole thing and leave it back at any time. And then they all come back. The other thing that you could do here, oops, on properties was you could show number of unread items. It's going to 0 because, see, I've read every single one of those emails. So that's a good way to kind of keep track of where you are with things as well. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is going to create some autocorrect text shortcuts. Okay, so we're going to go to File, Options, then we're going to go to Mail Spelling and Autocorrect. Okay. So what we're going to do is click on Autocorrect Options. I'm going to show you one. Okay. So here at USM, the University of Southern Mississippi, we use a hashtag. It's hashtag SMTTT, Southern Miss to the top. So what if I have to type that all the time? It's so irritating. So maybe I'm just going to type SM, hashtag SM. And I'm going to tell it to type hashtag SMTTT. I'm going to add that. I'm going to hit OK, and OK again, and OK again. Then I'm going to create a new email, Control N, and then I'm going to go hashtag SM. And see, I hit the space bar and it automatically typed TTT. So we could also do this. But you have to be careful. Don't make it think too much because you could make a mistake. And here's why I'm saying this, okay? So I like to go in here, spelling, autocorrect. What if I want to do president? The president, I could place it with President Bennett, who is our president, right? So say I'm talking about President Bennett, so I just type President. I think I put an extra space in there. So let's see what happens, because you have to be very exact about this. That's the only catch-22 to this. Again, mail, spelling, autocorrect options. I don't think it even took it. Let's see. Move it in here. And it goes in alphabetical order. Yeah, so it didn't actually take it. President Bennett. I'll put add. There he is. And hit OK. So let's try again. This time to do with that. I'm just going to type president. Hit the space bar after I type president and type Bennett. But what if I was talking about President Abraham Lincoln and I hit the space bar and start typing Abraham Lincoln and it doesn't know to let me do that? So instead, what I would do, and this is where you have to like kind of outwit it, you'll go back in there, go back in mail, go back in spelling and autocorrect options, and let's go find the one that says president. And again, it's in alphabetical order. So we're just going to scroll down till we see him. And we're going to edit it. Where did it go? Okay. So that comes up. Well, more than likely, I just hit President B and had it be Bennett. That would make more sense. Or even BE. And then I'm going to delete this one. Okay, so now when I type President BE, it's going to type President Bennett. Okay. So here I go. I'm going to type this email to somebody and President BE space Bennett. And there's a lot of things that you could do like that. We also have this just so you can see kind of some examples of how you could use this. We type University of. Be careful because that could be South Carolina. So I'm trying to make, what's the distinguisher is that extra E. So, and I could just put the University of Southern Mississippi. I get all those S's, P's, I's. Okay. I'm like, okay again. Okay, and so we know that we made it the University of Sub. And then I hit space bar after the E. And like I said, if it wasn't for the fact that there are other universities that start with the University of South Carolina, etc., we would not have to do that. We could just put something else. But you could also do an abbreviation, USM, TUSM, and then have that make the University of Southern Mississippi. Whatever kind of works for you, you can kind of make it work with that. So those are some of our tips that we had for you to try to optimize things. But I also wanted to share some resources with you, some free resources. So here's some training by Lorraine Hendrickson, and she is just trying to explain some things with Outlook that might be helpful. So I'm going to bring that video over so you can kind of see. And you'll see she's got a series of videos here. And she's very informative. She's an expert on this and an Office 365 consultant. So she's got all sorts of different tips that might be of use. We also have some Outlook tutorials here that this gentleman has created. Let's see if it will open up. There we go. Drag it over here. And you don't have to donate. He's just saying you could. And he's actually pretty funny about it, actually. But there's all sorts of topics. Color options, calendar options, managing your inbox. These are just great resources, and they're absolutely free. And of course, Microsoft does offer information as well. They have a little page up they've created with different topics. And if you Google it, you can also find it for other applications that are in the Microsoft Office 365 realm. I did look for some MOOCs that were free. I didn't find any MOOCs that were free. There's edX does have a class, but it does cost something. It's less than $100, but it does cost something. I didn't look at Ed2Go, but you could definitely do that, or you could go to there's a MOOC directory. That's the edX one. There it is. This is a MOOC search engine to find courses that are massive, open online courses. So you see there's something in here for edX. I think this is the one I saw. Actually, this one is free. So it might be a little bit more. It is absolutely free. You can always try it. If you want a certificate, it's $99. But again, that is through ClassCentral.com, which is the site that allows you to search for massive open online courses. So that's definitely something that you could do. And ultimately, I honestly use two ways to find things. I use Bing on Outlook Tips and Tricks 2019. See the latest. It'll bring up some things. You can just look for videos. You see that get a lot of results here. Or you can go to the king of the videos at YouTube and just type Outlook. And just some of these are for Outlook 2019, so be careful of that because it may be features that don't exist in your version of Outlook, so you want to check and see what version you have. But ultimately, you can see there's a lot of different information. There's also some stuff in here for Gmail as well that just is popping up because of email. But there's a lot of resources out there that are either low cost or free entirely. So I definitely suggest that you go out there and look and see if there's something specific you want to know. You could also go ahead in the chat, put in what topic you'd like covered in a future free webinar, and we're glad to look at presenting that for you to try to get everyone the information they need to be as productive and efficient and professional and move toward their development so that everyone can get their CEOE. So thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye from Hattiesburg, Mississippi.